Hey, you all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to come to you all and chat a little bit. So, I'm at a coffee shop today. It was one of those days where I'm just like, I got to get out the house and I need a change of scenery and yeah, to kind of clear my mind. But I want to talk to you all from the lens of learning to trust the receipts that you have in front of you over the running thoughts that keep you stuck. Here's the reality. There comes a point in time when you have to trust the receipts over the thoughts of what if I get it wrong? What if I look stupid? Or what are they going to say if I don't have all the answers? Here's the reality. Ain't nobody got all the answers. The receipts come in the form of your values. The receipts come in the form of the personality that you have committed to in terms of authenticity, however you want to define that. The receipts come in the form of the skills, the gifts, the talents that you have, but also the opportunities that have come your way. The receipts come in the form of you having a solution that other people need to move their people forward, evolve their companies, or do whatever they need to do because they might be stuck at point A and they're looking to you to get them to point Z. So I'm telling you this because someone right now is watching you stand in a place where they are choosing their running thoughts over what's real in front of them. So for many, I can say many because I used to be one of them. You have almost everything you need, or you have everything you need, but yet you're still asking yourself if you're the one for it. Well, if you have what it takes, you're still asking yourself those questions, and people are like, we're waiting for you. Tonight we are finishing the current cohort of Amplify and Ascend, which is my 90-day group accelerator coaching program for mental health professionals who want to take the skills and talents that they already have, which has become their thought leadership, and turning it into transformational speaking services that organizations actually want to invest in and buy. So tonight we are wrapping up the current cohort and we're getting ready in 3 weeks to launch the next cohort. But I want to share with you all something super, super exciting that has taken place. Okay. I want you to be a witness to this. Not because of all the things that we did in the program, because what it could mean for you to hear someone else's journey and how they were able to come in and they had an assessment score, let's say 12 out of 42 areas where they needed to hit benchmarks. And many of them are leaving at 90 to 95% of having all of those benchmarks met. When I talk about amplify and ascend, we are living in a time right now where organizations are waiting for us to offer services, offer solution based services to help move their people forward. And the only way to do that is for you to amplify, expand your voice beyond the comfort of the circles you're used to being in. And the ascend part of amplify and ascend is that you can go higher. You can go higher in impact. You can go higher in increment. You can go higher in the independence that you need and that you don't have to fight for. So when I think about the work that this current cohort did, here's the reality. These individuals came in and they weren't playing. They had visions and they held on to those visions, but they evolved. Okay, they made decisions that they weren't going to wait to be the perfect one. They made a decision that it wasn't going to be perfect because someone is watching them right now, waiting for them to be ready for their yes. So I want to share with you all a little bit about what came up, how it all started. As a mental health professional that's been a mental health professional for nearly 21 years, I've been a licensed clinician for nearly 15. I have seen time after time brilliant helping professionals sitting in audiences or sitting on the sidelines watching individuals who are piecemeal in it, individuals who just happen to have their foot in the door, getting opportunities. They held the mic. This happens with clinicians, therapists, psychologists, social workers, years of training, tons of money, and yet someone else was holding the mic and you were just as qualified. The one thing that those speakers, trainers, consultants, facilitators figured out is they decided that their voice was worthy of being in that room. Okay. And when we say less qualified, that means that perhaps they're riding the wave of having their name mentioned. But when I talk about less qualified, it's individuals who don't really care about the people, they care about the paycheck. That's what I mean when I say less qualified. And so they had figured out that their voice was worth being in that room, and we're second guessing, do we have what it takes? Okay. So over the years, I could not unsee it. It was like just sitting on the sideline of a sporting event, and you're just like, foul, foul, foul. Okay. Throughout the investment that you've made into yourself, your career, your education, you have walked a path. You knew the bridges that you needed to cross, but now you keep asking yourself, why am I holding on and not making a decision about how I can amplify my voice and ascend to more opportunities that make a deeper impact, income, and independence? When I think about the individuals who are coming through this current cohort, they didn't have everything perfect. There was actually a lot of insecurities with themselves. Well, what are people going to think? Do I really have it, what it takes? There were a lot of uncertainty. But week after week, and now we are in our 12th week or 90 days, the level of confidence is off the charts. The level of commitment to this is how I'm going to show up. The level of course correcting in real time, the level of centering themselves in spaces or putting themselves in spaces where decision makers are. That's what we got to witness. And so when I think about where all of this started, I made a commitment that I wanted to see mental health professionals push all the way through their uncertainties to see what was possible when they got to the other side of their ahas. If you are an event planner, HR director, conference chair, decision maker, if you're one of those people that actually brings in outside speakers, trainers, and consultants, mental health focus, I want to pause right here for a few seconds because I know some of you all are watching this. When you are looking for talent to bring in, the real challenge is finding speakers who can actually move your people, not just fill a time spot, but speak to what your audience is already carrying in that room: burnout, not feeling a sense of belonging, not feeling psychologically safe to ask for help or time off. Who are they, their identity when they're in a room where people don't look like them? What type of leaders are you building and growing and evolving? And so when you bring in a qualified mental health speaker, they can speak to where your people are, but the most qualified speaker often has the hardest time connecting that to let me give you tangible, practical, and actionable solutions to help alleviate that and move you through. So the most qualified speakers have been the hardest to find because people want big names. They want to attract all these people, but yet your people may leave less empowered, less motivated, and also kind of like, whoa, I could have YouTubed that. And so when you have the speakers that may be hard to find, it's not because they don't exist, but because you have not been looking for individuals that's going to move your people forward. Okay. And for the mental health professionals, someone taught you a long time ago that if you that visibility doesn't need to be prioritized. I want to disrupt that because visibility and positioning is the bridge to you as a decision maker or event planner to finding that person and the mental health professional showing up. So when I think about the speakers that are coming out of Amplify and Ascend, they're not going to send you a generic message and some flowery pitch or proposal of what they can offer and hope for the best. They are positioned. They have packaged services that will impact the very things that are influencing your workplace culture, your team cohesion, whatever it is that you have put on the table. They are positioned to deliver that. And they are going to be having data points where they're assessing the data and all the things that come with it. So it's not they're just going to show up and speak. They are going to deliver a service where your people can feel a possibility of a shift in real time. So the question is, are you ready to partner with these mental health speakers versus just filling a vendor spot? But I digress. So let me go back over to mental health professionals. So I see you all jumping in online. Hello. If you have any questions for me, drop them in the comment section. So when I think about the cohort that is coming out of Amplify and Ascend, remember, it's my 90-day group coaching accelerator program. There are 5 areas that we touch base on. Actually, I have my signature and proprietary framework of 6 pillars we touched on, but these are the 5 core areas that they took from those pillars. first and foremost is clarity. They came in knowing their work, they came in knowing their stuff, but there was a disconnect in, well, how do I make this clear enough to develop this into thought leading and transformational speaking services? And I'm going to use it interchangeably: speaking, training, consulting, facilitating, however you want to put it. So they came in knowing the work that they do, perhaps with therapy clients or as with their coaching clients, but they came in knowing, but they left learning how to translate it as a reputable speaker that's in demand. So when I think about a sense of clarity, they had brilliant expertise, but it was trapped in like this clinical language that wasn't landing in rooms or on speaker inquiry forms in a way that would get them to be booked, in a way that people could see them from all the things that were sounding the same. So they have this clinical language, which we use very well, or we understand the clinical language very well, but it wasn't landing with speakers who were not in that clinical world. And so when I think about clarity, it wasn't just about what they do. It really became a test of being able to say it in a way, demonstrate it in a way, and create actionable solutions in a way that makes someone says, this is exactly what we need. And when you are done, our people got fed. And then after they get fed, you hear, we are still seeing it being put in play, and we didn't go back to probably the old way, or we see people interrupting the old way in real time. When clarity was on the table, it became an identity shift. And so I said, you have to be able to take your notion as a therapist and become a thought leader. That was the foundation from everything, and that's what we built on, was clarity. So the second area that came from our my proprietary 6 pillars was credibility. I watch these mental health professionals in real time stop hiding behind their licenses, behind these cute frameworks, behind all the alphabet soup. And they started leading with their positioning. And the positioning was being very visible and letting people know you exist. One of the things I struggle with is when people say, oh, I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a consultant, but no one has seen anything you do. You don't need a million followers. Just yet, you don't even need a TEDx. Just yet, you don't even need a book, but you say you speak, but no one can find you. You know, when someone go look up your name, you got a cute online name, but wondering why and why and why. So it was an invitation and almost a challenge to stop hiding behind the things that create a barrier versus an open door. And so when we think about credibility, and let's even start with your biography can truly open doors. Instead of listing all the credentials you have, I need you to pop your collar and let people know you are the credible source and opportunity to partner with. And so when I think about everything from credibility, what you name things, how you show up, how you're positioning yourself, how you guide people from A to Z, that builds on your credibility. It's no longer just credentials. So when we think about credibility in a speaking business, it's not the degree that's hanging on a wall. It is your name in a search bar. It is your bio in an inbox. It is your topic that you can speak on, eyes open, eyes closed, tech up, tech down, whatever. That's what makes you credible. When people search your name, they find that you actually say you do what you say you do. When your bio or your whatever lands in their inbox, they know you're the one. They're not second guessing. Well, wait, what does this person speak about? Wait, they said this, but everything else is that. So that was the second thing that we really focused on, is getting tightening up how you present yourself as credible. So the third thing that came out of this past cohort over the past 90 days were the connections. The connections. I am a huge believer a business can thrive when you have built meaningful relationships, and when those relationships can turn into partnerships, or then those partnerships can turn into ongoing connections, because you start developing a network. And your network isn't just who you know, it's who knows you and what you do. So the shift from waiting to be discovered to really starts turning into something very active, very something strategic, and you're putting yourself in rooms and inboxes where decisions are being made. And so when I think about how people connect themselves and how they position themselves, connection without positioning it's just networking. You just network for the heck of it. You didn't spend 3 hours out of your day and you didn't met with all these decision makers. But if you aren't connecting, to move people forward or to provide a solution. You're just clogging up your pipeline with all of these things, but not many opportunities that will make a deeper impact, give you more income, and also allow you to bring down the things that you've been carrying for a really long time through the notion of what you define as independence. So the next thing that they're walking away with is understanding how to convert. So the conversion, they learn how to price their services. Okay, they learn there's no perfect solution to this, but they learn how to back up when they start at a number they're starting. And so when they talk about how to price, it's like they started believing, oh, I believe in what I can offer. I believe in what I can package. And so they start believing in their own expertise versus what so and so is doing over there or what they paid so and so. They learn how to convert those conversations, those clarity calls into meaningful partnerships. They learn how to negotiate. They learn how to understand their contracts. So when we think about the clinical credentials, the years of training, the depth of knowledge, that experience already exists in you. You amplify and ascend. I didn't give them the expertise. I gave them systems, structure, and understanding solutions, and they develop their assets and they develop everything they need to convert conversations into contracts and to charge what their expertise requires. And you heard me say require and not worth. I'm a firm believer in no one can pay you your worth. Even if you got paid $25,000 to have a 30-minute keynote with a 10-minute Q&A, some would say that's really good money, and it is. But when you start attaching things to your worth, you start letting no's hurt your heart. You start letting, when you hear they pay so and so this and then pay you that, you start taking that personal. And so when I say start charging for your expertise in a way that can fulfill you, it has nothing to do with worth. It's standing on business. And when we think about how they were able to convert those conversations into contracts and connections, which turn into partnerships, we walk through the frameworks I gave them. And so they went from the moment of asking, well, do you have a budget? Or do you want to pay me? To asking for things without apologizing for it, stating what's in their capacity and what's not, reinforcing their boundaries, standards, and rules when they're engaging on a business aspect with partners. Okay, understanding that it's absolutely okay to not go to every single event and do all of this stuff so people can see that you support their organization. That's a difference than being aligned with their organization. I want to share something. I'm a full-time organizational speaker, trainer, facilitator, and consultant. I have clients around the world. I often share, I have clients in the UK, I have clients in Brazil, I have clients in Canada, and tons of clients in the United States whom I've partnered with. It's so impossible for me to fly to all of those places and go to their fairs and go to every conference they have to say, see, I'm supporting you. No, I support you in me showing up and doing what I said I would do within my capacity. And if we continue to align, I will support you in other ways. So if you struggle with that, I really want you to sit with that. And if you are a decision maker, an event planner, a conference organizer, HR, whoever you are, and you're putting on events, I want to invite you, stop crapping on people when they're not engaging with every post. Stop crapping on people when they cannot show up to every single thing you do to be like, well, you never supported me. That's different than alignment. Do we align on the things I promote and I say I do for people? And do you align with me and do I align with you? That's an invitation for you, because when it comes down to it, this is our job. Okay, this is our job. And for you to judge, do I support every post, everything you do, and whether you want to bring me in to serve your people as the undeniable choice? That's what I helped people in Amplify and Ascend navigate, undo, unlearn. And the last area that we targeted throughout this whole 90 days was capacity. They built speaking businesses and infrastructures to sustain their capacity, not just sprinting through it, one engagement, and getting burnt out. They position their pricing, they package their services, and they build partnerships that will help sustain who they are as human beings. Because here's the reality. Many of us don't want to give up our private practice, okay? Well, people that's burning out, they like, yeah, I want to go into this full time. I don't want to do any of that. But I like my clinical aspect. It keeps my ear to the wall, my toes on the ground, and it keeps me connected with people and understanding the things that they continue to navigate as individuals that's seeking services. So I love my private practice, but speaking, training, consulting is my full time job. And so when I think about the capacity, our members built infrastructures, not hobbies. A speaking business does not run on talent alone. I want to be very clear about that. You could be the most talented. It does not run on talent alone. It runs on you understanding systems. Runs on you understanding how your services can create transformations and change or evolution. It runs on the processes that you have from onboarding, offboarding. It runs on the visibility. And believe me, this is a long term uh, aspect that we're building. So I did not teach my members how to just get a gig. I taught them to understand, and they learn how to build a business that pursues and secures opportunities that make sense for their capacity and the business that they have built. So if you were an Amplify and Extend member, I want to take this moment to acknowledge you did the work. You know who you are. You did the work and you deserve to be seen for everything you have put in. You know who you are. And for the person that's watching and you're like, "Ooh, I feel myself," and whoever you're describing, okay? If you've been watching this and something in you is like, I need that. I need this to stay with me. I need to understand how this can impact my life. The mental health professional, you know who you are. You have more to say beyond the therapy session. You're a professional that's been speaking for free or very little. You have something you have packaged, and you're like, I know organizations can benefit from this. You are the expert that is watching everybody else fill those rooms that you too can belong in. But for me, it comes through clarity, credibility, the connections that you'll build, the conversions, and the capacity you have to sustain. And maybe you will evolve your team. Maybe you'll scale your business, but you got to understand the foundations before you can delegate to anyone else. None of those areas are reserved for this super mysterious person. It's reserved for you. Okay. This is why I built Amplify and Ascend. It was built to produce individuals who can get the results that the members who just got. So the question is not whether you're qualified. Are you ready to make a decision for yourself? Okay. So that's what was on my mind when we truly, truly look at, I'm done waiting for permission. And also, if you're the organizer, I'm done bringing in people that will bore my audience, that don't really connect. So there's an opportunity for everyone involved. So if you're a mental health professional and you're just like, I'm ready, I want to invite you to the next cohort of Amplify and Ascend. We will be kicking off, let me see. I lost my train of thought. We will be kicking off April 24th for 90 days after that. That's our plan. So I want to invite you to join the next cohort. You can drop the word Amplify wherever you're at, and we'll get you the information. Or you can go to speaktothesoul.com/amplify. Applications are open. And yes, everyone must apply because this is not a large cohort. We keep it to no more than 15 people per cohort. And if you are graduating from the program, you can extend your membership into the alumni cohort. Okay. So if you are ready to say yes to the program, I want you to go ahead and drop Amplify in the comment section. And I hope to see you then. Because at the end of the day, it's time to position, it's time to package, it's time to pursue the partnerships that align with you so you can get paid and people can be well. So you all have a great day. Bye.